right, in three, two, one. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Platinum Podcast, episode 10 of season 2. Today, I have a very special guest with me. Um, she's like a mutual friend, a friend of a friend that we just kind of know each other through, you know, situations and stuff like that. But she has over about 18K followers on Instagram, 44K on TikTok, and a video with over 4.5 million views on TikTok. And something happened in her life, and it just totally switched to took a turn and switched her whole life, I think. So I'm happy to talk to her about this stuff to make sure you guys stay a healthy and, just a beautiful life. I have Becky Xiong in the house. How's it going?
Good. Hi, guys. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. First off, I just want to say what you've done the past year is incredible. I haven't seen you in like forever. So I didn't even know what was going on. I just saw you over like social media and all that stuff. So I was like, damn, like it took you like, probably a year, probably 2 years now to be where you're at. Can you just take me through the process of what happened? What what was like that switch in your mind and made you kind of take a left turn and start living like a healthier lifestyle?
Yeah, so I guess to start off, I mean, the last time we've seen each other and like I hung out with you guys, I was totally in a different headspace than I am now. And I think that's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I always express about my journey is that it's like a mental health journey, not just a like fitness and all of that,
Right.
because before I started all of this, I was always like go, 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 always working and,
Mm-hmm.
just focusing myself and like my mind on other things but myself. And I
Yeah.
feel like growing up, I was always super like selfish. And when I was younger, I was always like the bossy girl. So when I guess like in my high school days, I decided to not be that girl and start, listening to other people and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I feel like that definitely has like put myself aside and started to think about how other people are and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um so I went through obviously like a relationship and all of that, and I was always just kind of, putting them first like I was saying, and it kind of just like made me forget where I lie within myself, and that kind of just like took me away from my own life.
Yeah.
um so that's where my headspace was not like really that great, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always working. I mean, you guys saw me
Yeah.
all the time when you guys
All the
came in.
time. Yeah.
I was like the person that was always working because I just felt like, I needed to put efforts into that so that I can make other people happy with whatever I do.
Right.
So I didn't really focus on myself. I just like worked so that I can have the money to do this for this other person and stuff like
Mm.
that, single or not.
Yeah.
Um, because when I was single, I wanted to travel everywhere, but not really focus on my mental health because I just
Right.
kind of let myself escape with all of those trips and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um, so I guess like the beginning of 2020 was when I decided to make the switch because I felt like I was pretty happy within my relationships with like my friends and family, and I needed to be happy within myself. So that's when I pretty much decided to get a gym membership and just see what I can do within myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the whole pandemic unexpectedly and all that stuff, I actually stopped working and started to focus on what matters from within instead of from obviously everything on the outside. So I think that's what definitely helped was being stuck inside my house and just like with myself and giving myself a break from the outside world
Yeah.
definitely changed my mindset to reach into like every single bit of myself. And I mean, it's what has brought me to where I am today.
Mm-hmm. And when you made that TikTok video about your journey and your transformation, did you expect it to blow up the way it did?
Honestly, like that, no, because for me, I've been doing YouTube for a long time for beauty actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And I also like love social media. I've
Mm-hmm.
always like wanted to be a part of this space
Yeah.
ever since like I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just, scrolling on TikTok and this trend was happening and I posted like some weight loss like videos before that too, but they didn't really like blow up, I guess. But then for this one, like the TikToks that I started watching was ones that kind of tell a story. And
Mm.
I felt like my purpose on social media is not to just post to be pretty, just to like, show people like, oh, I'm famous, whatever. Like
Yeah.
I want to have a story that I can tell and that can touch other people. So that's why when I made that TikTok, I'm really glad that that one was the one that like blew up or whatever, because people can tell or can see my story
Right.
from how I was mentally in a different space and how
Mm-hmm.
I was able to change myself within that.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty cool how, like you said, you're able to tell the story of, going from a certain lifestyle and then switching it up into a a mental game that you've gotten a lot better at. And would you say that the pandemic for you, unlike most people, actually helped you?
Yeah, it definitely is a big part of my journey because
Mm,
like number one thing, I was working at a restaurant, so I was eating
yeah,
restaurant food all the time.
for sure.
But now, like I said, I'm just stuck at home. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start making healthy food or like cleaner options and stuff like that. So, and I also don't really see people because a lot of people that message me are always like, how do you like avoid the binge drinking and like overeating and stuff like that, especially with when you're with family and friends.
For sure.
I seriously have not seen my family since past November, but that was because of a funeral.
Yeah,
And I haven't seen my friends since October because of the circumstances. So,
right. And you moved too, so was that a
yes.
big part too?
Yeah, I definitely think so because I don't have that access of seeing everybody so
Right.
instantly. So, yeah,
And
and
you're
I
not
feel
as like
like,
tempted to like just to go out right away, you know what I mean?
yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, and like I mean, is there any advice for like people who want to start like losing weight or wants to start living a better or a healthier lifestyle even like cuz us Hmong people we like to drink, we like to go out and eat, you know what I mean? So it's hard especially for me. I love drinking, I love going out and seeing people, you know what I mean? So is there any advice for people like myself or like anybody that wants to be in a better headset or headspace than they are now?
Yeah, I guess for me when I started, I it was actually like not the pandemic already. And
Mhm.
without me even knowing it, I already lost 20 pounds. And that's when I just like decided to, make the switch or whatever for working out and stuff like that. So
Right.
I think what comes with it is consistency. Like, don't make those excuses. I know it's easier said than done,
Mhm.
but little efforts will add up. And yeah, so when I started, I actually went to like raves all the time and
Yeah.
went out every other weekend or so and hung out with friends, whatever. But within that time, I was still able to lose the 20 pounds, like I said, without me
Yeah.
knowing it, because I put in those small efforts every single day. So I think just really putting yourself and giving yourself some time to work on yourself versus like, oh, I can't do it because I work all the time, like I do
Right.
this. And I know everybody has their own lives and whatever is going
Mhm.
on, but you do need to make that time for yourself too, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially like the little things will tend to add up and then, you tend to reach your goal that way, although it might take a little longer, which is fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I also think that, you shouldn't feel bad for not wanting to drink or go out with friends
Mhm.
because you want to work on yourself. I think that people feel like, oh, this person just changed now because, like they choose to go work out versus like hanging out with the boys or the girls or whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like sometimes you have to be selfish in that situation. And trust me, like a year from now or from that time that they were saying that about you, they're gonna be the ones asking you, how did you do this?
Yeah, for sure. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's actually funny because like all my girls now, you know, like I get Snapchat memories from a year ago all the time.
Hmm.
And I look at our life a year ago and we were literally like partying and all that stuff. And now, like to this day, they're all asking me about fitness. And it's just so different because now all of us are working out or at the gym
Yeah.
because of my motivation, I guess.
Right.
So,
How does that feel when you took that first step and then it lit a fire under all of your friends' ass to, kind of like not follow you, but then like kind of like want to be a better version of themselves?
it feels really cool, like really rewarding, I would say, because
Hmm.
obviously I still don't know what I'm doing, you know, and it's just silly when, to me, it's funny when like people come up to me and ask me advice because I'm like, I still feel like a lost girl in this entire
Yeah.
industry, you know, but people see my story and, you know, see what I have done within this past year and it,
Hmm.
you know, like lights a fire in them. And it's really special to me because a lot of people that I don't really speak to, and even guys, you know, that's the thing
Yeah.
that surprises me the most, that guys that I don't really talk to, but I just have as Facebook friends, they will message me and ask me about my advice and like all that. So I don't know, it's really rewarding, like I said. Um, and honestly, like as much as it is my journey, it is like mine and everybody else that is following it and everybody that is asking me for advice, because I want to be that person for everybody else that can, you know, teach them that they have the potential to
Right.
do whatever they want to.
Right. And is it weird like now being an influencer? Because I know that you said you've always wanted to be in this space, in this social media type entertainment industry space. Is it weird now to see that that's actually happening?
Um, so I don't really like consider myself one, even though like, you know, people say it to me all the time.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
joke with my friends like, "Oh yeah, I'm famous now, so I don't have time for you."
Right.
But I don't know, like it's really interesting again with like the whole like it's really rewarding thing because I've
Hmm.
been working really hard and all of the people that are, you know, has been with me since I started my YouTube channel when I was literally like 11 years old, which is about 10 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just starting to make sense now because I worked so hard to get to where I am right now.
Right.
And I know some people's like, oh, you just blew up and how did that happen? You know, and I get questions about that. And it's just like hard work really pays off and you just have to keep going, even
Hmm.
if you feel like you can't do it, because one day it will pay off, like I said. And I think what was really helpful is just to be yourself, because when I was doing beauty, you know, like of course I'm myself, but I just
Hmm.
didn't really feel like it felt like a forced kind of thing just because it was like
Right.
the thing to do.
Yeah.
And I always say like beauty is my first love, but I think now that I've like come on this journey of like my weight loss and whatever, it definitely has taught me to um, know who I am and who I want to share with other people. So it's really cool because, you know, like even like 6 months ago, I was not where I am today. So
Hmm. Yeah. And I mean, you said it was like when you were 11. I didn't even know it went back that far.
yeah, yeah, it was like, you know, it was crazy because back then I did not have a phone and all that. So
Hmm.
whenever I was with my siblings or with my mom, I would use her iPad and I would use like my brother and sister's laptop to film videos.
Right.
But because we don't have internet at home, I would like edit on their devices and then like post or whatever. None of those videos are up anymore because it's kind of
Oh yeah.
embarrassing. But yeah, it does go way back to those days, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's interesting how you were that young and knowing that you wanted to be in the space. I think a lot of children nowadays see themselves wanting to be in this space too, you know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
they watch it every day, they consume it every day. So they're like even my little sisters, they want to be YouTubers, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's
Yeah,
crazy.
I think like the scariest thing about that, though, um, I'm really glad that it has popped off where I am today at 21 years old,
Right.
almost 22, because being that young, it's so scary on the internet. now that I think about it, especially because, like TikTok, I don't know if you have TikTok, but people are wild on there, especially like in the
Yeah.
comments and stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
like I just think about it, me being a kid at that age, I'm just glad that I know a little bit more of like the business side of it and
Right.
just like all of that because when I get a hate comment now, it hurts, but I can never imagine myself at like 11 years old getting a hate comment or
Yeah.
having somebody else control what I do online.
Yeah, that is so scary to think about, like you said. I mean, my sisters, they make TikToks, and
Mm-hmm.
of course we make them like have like a privacy and stuff like that. And they even have an Instagram, they even have a YouTube channel, they even
Yeah.
have a Snapchat. And it's like, man, I still don't know how to work a Snapchat. Like
Yeah.
I'm I have TikTok, but then like I don't even use the app. And it's like
Mhm.
it's crazy to think how times have changed. And like yourself, like I've always seen myself in this space and wanting to, do something with entertainment, or like glad that I found podcasting just to, make content. And it's crazy to think that we were them once, right? But then we at that time, the internet and the social media space wasn't as vicious as it is now. You know what I mean? So it is very scary to see younger kids trying to get into the game, and most of them are more famous or more well known and getting paid than us. So it's crazy that like a whole different game that they're playing. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah, and I think that kind of goes with like I know like Justin Bieber is like really open with how his life has been affected by being famous really young now.
Hmm.
And I think about that and it's so scary like I said because at that age you're not the one running your social media sites and if you are you're not the one controlling your money and stuff like that
Right.
because you have no clue about any of that. So people, I feel like at that point when you're that young, if your parent or manager whatever, like they kind of tell you and lead you where to go, but then it
Hmm.
makes you so lost in your like adulthood life.
Right. Because you always have like a sense of where to go because of that guidance, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
once all of a sudden you're an adult and it's gone, you have no idea where to go, where to start even. So it is crazy. And
Yeah.
moving
And
on to like, oh, sorry, did you?
no, no, no. I was just thinking like, we always like see celebrities and we're like, wow, they were such a good kid actor and now they're so weird
Oh
as an
yeah.
adult or whatever. And it's just like now that I'm older and in this space, it totally makes sense why that happens.
You kind of have like a sense of like empathy or sympathy towards them because it's like shit, that's
Hmm.
scary. Yeah, but yeah, moving on. Like, so I mean, I consider yourself as like like a fitness and mental health influencer. Do you consider yourself as that as well?
Um, yes, I think I've gotten to a point where I need to accept it
Yeah,
because obviously, like, a lot of people say a lot of bad things about famous people, influencers or whatever, because they're like,
for
they're just
sure.
in it for the money.
Hmm.
But being in this position, it is way more than that. And I've learned to accept that, my space is to create like safe community
Yeah.
and, a place for people to just come to support me if they want to.
Hmm.
And, um, it's really hard to please everyone, but those that do believe in you, like, this is why I do it. So as scary as it is to be like, yeah, I'm an influencer, people might see me as like, oh yeah, she just like wants to be famous or whatever, just like a clout chaser.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I know in myself that that's not why I'm here.
Hmm. Yeah, I think you're playing a bigger game than everybody really thinks. You know what I mean? Because you're
Hmm.
actually affecting people's lives. Like you're giving people advice, and you're making content that whether it entertains them, motivates them to start doing something. You're playing a way bigger game than like anybody else would think. So, or that they're not in the space, they wouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
So like, and have you? I don't know if this is like correct or not, so correct me if I'm wrong. Like,
Mhm.
have you been getting like sponsorship deals or like things sent to you for and getting paid for posting them up?
Yeah, I actually have. So I am partnered with some like clothing brands for fitness, obviously, and then
Mm-hmm.
a supplement company and just a bunch of other small advertisements,
Yeah.
um, which is fun. But, like I said, I'm not here just to get those things. I want to share things that are truly what I believe in, what I take and
Mm-hmm.
use every day, because when I first got into it, I got like a brand deal through TikTok and I was
Yeah.
like, okay, this is really cool. This is what I've been waiting for. And if I'm going to be honest, I do regret like saying yes to it because it's not something that I even use this day, like I
Yeah.
did it because it was for the deal and like just being an influencer or whatever. But I
Mm-hmm.
think now that was like 6 months ago and I've gotten to a point where I say no to some sponsorships because it's not what I believe in and it's not what my brand is, I guess.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if people see that and they're like, wait, you don't even do that. Why are you advertising that? They're going to
For
think that I'm
sure.
a liar because I
Yeah.
am at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, I think that's important too. I mean, being able to put yourself accountable and making sure you're true to what you say because you have an audience, right? I
mhm.
think that's awesome. And making those brand deals and stuff like that, is it like a tough process? And how does that whole process work? Like, do you reach out to them or do they reach out to you or
Yeah.
vice
So,
versa?
with quarantine, I've been doing a lot of studying with that because obviously, like, I'm locked here. So I'm like, let me just try to make this work. Let me try to
Right.
understand it and stuff like that. So, what I've learned is that it's just like applying to a job. If
Mm,
this is people's lifestyle, I mean, people make a living off of like influencing and stuff like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Um, so, so I do reach out to some brands and some brands reach out to me. It's kind of just like your workspace now. So I know it's hard when you get rejected, but um, it's worth a shot. It's
Yeah.
not like you go to every single job and apply and you're gonna get every single one. No, you get
Right.
rejected by
Exactly.
some of them. You come back stronger and find something else that might work out for you. And whatever brands or whatever job believes in you, they will accept you. And I just
Hmm.
kind of taken it like that because I'm like, you know what, this is a job. People are gonna pay you for sponsoring them and stuff like that, or them sponsoring you. So don't be afraid to contact brands if you're gonna work this hard. Like you might as well go job hunting.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And I mean, going back, like, have you ever thought yourself of like getting paid to post something or just to try a product out or even having a clothing brand deal with, the ones that you're working with?
Mm-hmm. In a way, I guess I'm afraid to say this, but yes, because I feel like I believe in myself and I've worked so hard that I told myself I will get there one day.
Hmm.
I think I listened to Timothy DeLaGhetto,
Yeah.
his podcast a lot, and he always says like, no, I knew I was going to be famous and I told my dad one day I'm going to be famous and here I am.
Right.
And I think that mentality is so much different than somebody that's like privileged and somebody that has everything handed to them. Like
Hmm.
I worked really hard to where I am, and I didn't have like my parents buying me everything that I wanted to advertise.
Yeah.
So, yes, to answer your question, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's well deserved. I mean, just look at the numbers and look at where you're at now. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I'm telling you, like, it's really well deserved and it's really motivating and inspiring. Like, although, like, obviously, like, I'm not into, like, which I should be, like, my health and stuff like that right now. But, like, it's really cool to see, like, as a mutual, like, as a friend,
Hmm.
to see you putting the work in and then gaining something from it, you know what I mean? Like, from a small channel like myself, it's cool to see that happening and like, oh yeah, like I could do that too. That means if she made it and I know her, that means I'm able to make it too, you know what I mean? So for sure,
Exactly.
like, it motivates me and it's cool to see just a friend, like, not making it to the top yet, but then, like, at least the train is moving, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And I think that's something that's really special for what I'm doing too, because um, even random people that ask me like, hey, like I've been following you for a little bit when you had only 1,000, not only, but when you had 1,000 followers, you know,
Yeah.
and how did you like blow up so fast, or how did this happen for you? And I am more than like open to share how I did it and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
I always try to support every single person in what they're doing, because, you know, I didn't get to where I am by myself. A lot of
Right.
people supported me. So I, of
Mm-hmm.
course, want to do that for other people. So just like you said, you know, seeing a friend that can do it is really special, because you just see all these famous people and you're like, yeah, they're privileged. So, you
Right.
know, like they get to do all of this, you know, if only I had this or that, if only I had this like X amount of things, then I can do it
Right.
too.
Mm-hmm.
But when you see somebody that you know and you understand their situation and they made it, it's really cool to see that change and that
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, just all those rewarding things that happen.
Yeah, for sure. And now you and your friend just started a podcast as well, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
called ABTG.
Yeah, ABTG chat.
What does it stand for?
Um, so it stands for about the girls, but there's like a deeper meaning to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like obviously her and I we're best friends, and we're in the rave scene, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the word or the phrase ABTG or ABG was out, and everybody knows
Yeah.
that's Asian baby girl.
Mm-hmm.
So we were both like, you know what, we don't want to be just regular Asian baby girls, so let's be Asian baby thick girls. So
Yeah.
it just like was a joke between us two, but then
Uh-huh.
like it's literally stuck with us since like we said that, and I don't even remember when we have, but like we just call each other that as like a joke. But then I was thinking about our podcast name, and I am horrible at naming things. Whenever anybody's like, oh, name this, name that, whatever, I'm like, no, not me, because I will come up with the most basic, uninteresting thing in the world.
Right, right.
But we were like struggling with the name. And then I was like, you know what? Like, it's kind of cute. Like, let's just go with that, because like it means something more to us than what it stands for, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel like with that, people can understand that this friendship is more than just like two girls like on a podcast, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I think yeah, coming up with a name is like the hardest thing. Like
Yeah.
I struggled with it so much, and you know, I've regretted so many names, and like this one, like before this podcast I had the fashion channel, like Good Vibe Fashion, and I was like, why didn't I just name the podcast Good Vibe Podcast? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I had to switch up the whole thing, you know what I mean? But I
Hmm.
mean, looking back at it, like do I kind of regret it? Yeah, kind of. I think it would have been fine with the Good Vibe Podcast, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
um, you know, it is what it is, and you just got to move on from it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is like the branding thing too, you know?
For sure.
Because even when I was coming up with my Instagram name, I was like, dang, do I just want my name? Do I want fitness in my name? But then I'm like, I stand for more than that. So let's just go with Ms. Becky Xiong. But I'm like, what if I get married? There's just so many things that I'm like, whatever, you know, because I mean, like I was saying, Timothy De La Ghetto, that's not even his name anymore. He changed his
Yeah, he
brand, you know?
changed
So I'm
it.
like,
Yeah.
and I can't even like think of the other thing. Like I know what it is, but I'm like, I don't see him as that. So it's like the whole branding thing too.
Yeah, his like actual last name
Hmm.
Changtarangsu.
Yeah.
Really long, really long.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just um oh yeah, and I was gonna say, I totally forgot. What do you guys talk about in your podcast? I think you guys only have about 2 to 3 episodes right now, right?
Yeah. So we talk on the day-to-day basis, or like every other day, whatever.
Yeah.
And we are definitely like, we became really close because we're really like-minded. You know,
Okay.
we're really into like self-growth, and you know, we're both like the baby of our families. We come from really big families, so we
Hmm.
kind of have that mindset of ourselves and just focusing on us, because we have so much love from our siblings, our like parents and stuff like that. So in our situation, I guess our mindset's just kind of the same. So
Yeah.
we have gone through a lot of like, with just the 20 years of our life, I mean, we are not even that old, but
Yeah.
within those years, like we've definitely learned a lot of things about ourselves and each other, and we go to each other for advice. So we just wanted to, give advice to other people about our own experiences with like heartbreak. This season, we wanted to do like more like vulnerable relationship kind of way, I
Yeah.
guess, and just self growth. So we talk about breakups, we talk about seasons of loneliness, and just like red flags and stuff like that
Okay.
from our own experiences, because obviously we're not professionals at that. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think anybody's a professional at relationships yet. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Yeah. Kind of just go with the flow until something happens.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, you guys? I just want to take a little break to say thank you to today's video sponsor, Represent Mong, of course, my brother from another mother, DC Thao. Represent Mong is an apparel brand that is about expanding cultural awareness about the Hmong people and Hmong community through modern day streetwear and designs. This brand isn't just limited to only Hmong people, and they do encourage other ethnicities to represent and help spread the Hmong name, showing their support and acknowledgement of the Hmong community and the Hmong people, which is Represent Hmong's ultimate goal. So make sure you guys go to representmong.com. I'll have the link down in the description. You guys will get free shipping after a $40 purchase or higher. Free shipping if you guys use the code Platinum Podcast, all caps and all one word. So you guys get free shipping. Be patient with the shipping and handling. COVID is still happening, so make sure you guys be patient. But if you guys do use my code, you guys get free shipping anyways. So that's a plus right there. So thank you again to Represent Hmong. Thank you again to DC Thao for my brother from another mother for sponsoring this video. And let's get back to the video, guys. And do you guys plan to have any like guests on there, or like have any of your other friends in there? Because I know you guys have a like pretty a big crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely do, but I think just touching into it at first, we were kind of just like it actually started off with me wanting to do a podcast alone.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, it'd be like just me alone talking. I want somebody else to be a part of it, because obviously I have my YouTube channel and all of
Right.
that. So I thought about her because we are so like-minded, and then she randomly messaged me, was like, hey, do you want to start a podcast? And I was like, weirdly enough, I was thinking the exact same
Yeah,
thing, because before that I was like, if I have a podcast alone, of course I'm going to want guests,
for
because
sure.
I don't want to just talk alone. So yeah, we thought about it. So our first season is just us two, of course, just so people can kind of get a feel of what we talk about, who we are, and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But for season 2, if that does happen, if it gets, if it goes good, whatever, then we do want to bring on some guests, and of course our friends as well. Just because I love hearing different perspectives and
Yeah.
just how everybody else thinks and lives their life. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be awesome to, get a lot of perspectives, especially now because a lot of podcasts are done through like over online and over Zoom or other streaming platforms. So it will be a lot easier to get guests on. Like I've had guests on from Sacramento that I would never have thought I would have gotten. You know what I mean? Like I would have to
right.
travel there to get them on. So it's crazy to see that. Like, man, I really got somebody from Sacramento.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. But what are the overall goals for the podcast? Like your target audience and things like that.
We obviously like just want to reach anybody that needs that friend to just
Mm,
hear their advice and just like talk. And I even said, like, I don't even care if the podcast is successful and only our friends and family are listening to it.
right.
As long as we're doing something together and we are sharing our experiences, hopefully it can touch one person
Mm-hmm.
to feel like they're not alone in a situation, or they can relate in any way at all.
Yeah.
So I think that's the main goal, because obviously like it's hard to grow and whatever, but people will see you through the realness and who
Yeah.
you are. So
For sure. And I mean, you've gone through this journey of of the social media game and stuff like that already. So you already know how much work you guys are gonna have to put into that podcast too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And are you still doing YouTube stuff right now?
I am. I've kind of like lost my touch over there just because I am making the transition or whatever from
Mm-hmm.
beauty to lifestyle fitness. So I'm still kind of just figuring out what I want over there and
Yeah.
what works best over there. But I think my main platform is Instagram, just because on TikTok I have the most followers on there. But
Yeah.
I coming up with content is so hard. So I just
Yeah,
like
for sure.
basically stick on Instagram.
Okay. Do you think you're still going to be doing beauty videos? Because I know those got a lot of views as well.
Yeah, here and there, I feel like yes, I will just because again, it's my first love, but
Mm-hmm.
um I felt like I was super pressured to always like put the best makeup look out there or something colorful and stuff like that. And
Gotcha.
I don't really do. I feel like I'm not like a crazy like face artist, so I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to put that pressure on myself because I was really miserable like forcing myself to do tutorials
Oh
and
wow.
yeah, it was actually like really like it was a lot, you know, because
Mm-hmm.
I have to set up a certain way. I have to, you know, think of a makeup, like I have to practice it. And it would be hours and hours because then I'm like, do I want a voiceover? Do I want to just like do it naturally? But then I also felt like I had to put on an act to sound professional in that field.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so I think with that, it was just a lot of pressure. So I try not to do those videos anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
haven't for a long time because of that reason. And I don't want to feel like that and feel like suffocated again.
Yeah, for sure. That does kind of like strain your creativity just to, feel like you have to do something. You know what I mean?
Exactly,
Mm-hmm.
exactly.
Yeah, making that transition, is it hard, or have you gotten any messages from your viewers saying that they want to see more beauty stuff again, or some of them might not even like the transition?
Yeah. So the thing about that was last summer, I actually decided to make the change. And before I did, I talked to my closest friends and my sisters, and I
Mm-hmm.
asked them, and I was like, you know, I don't think I want to do beauty anymore because I feel like I've been doing it for 10 years and I haven't gone anywhere. I
Right.
mean, yeah, it's hitting a little bit more, but I just don't feel happy anymore doing it. So, what would happen if I changed it? They were just telling me that as much as like, you know, my YouTube channel was Becky Beauty, if I'm not happy, I shouldn't be making content to make it seem like I am because then I'm
Yeah.
just living a miserable life, you know? So I actually put like a little poll on my Instagram story because I actually had a beauty page on Instagram, but I deleted that now because
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I
Yeah.
wasn't using it at all. Like I was never active on there. So my Instagram right now was my personal page.
Mm-hmm.
And then since I had a little bit more of a following from like hometown people and like whatever, um, I decided to change that to like my networking Instagram, like my business Instagram right now.
Oh, okay.
And I put on like my stories when I only had like less than 1,000 followers. Do people follow me because of beauty or because of my fitness journey now? Because like, you know, I was making that change. And the poll actually had 90% like health and fitness, and then the 10% was beauty. So I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, so I was like, okay, I think people would like it if I do that instead. So
Yeah.
that's when I decided to make the change. And now, like, most of my messages are about like health and fitness, whatever. And some people that actually followed me for beauty actually, you know, are still with me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and those people like would message me and be like, you know, like I followed you through beauty and seen like the switch and all that, and I'm definitely like glad that I'm still following you because this is like a different side of you that we didn't see before. So
For sure.
yeah, people do ask me to do some tutorials sometimes, but I don't know, I'm just lazy, so
You're just like, nah.
yeah.
So you moved from your hometown, or not your hometown, but you moved. What
Mhm.
what made you move? Because I didn't even
School.
know. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So, well, at first, like, I felt like, I mean, from my hometown to like the Fox Valley area, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
um, I felt like it was just the same thing over and over again. So I wanted a new routine. And that's
Yeah,
just the kind of person that I am.
for
I get
sure.
bored really easily. So I'm like, okay, let me just go to the Fox Valley area. And I really liked that. But then I felt like it was too close to home that I
Mm-hmm.
felt like everything was in reach for me to not do what I really wanted to do and
Yeah,
reach
for
my full
sure.
potential. So I got too comfortable to a point where I was like, yeah, I need to make the move so that I can explore a little bit more. So I decided to go
Mm.
to a little bit of a bigger city just to experience more of what I can do, and just so that I can force myself to meet new people, try new things, and
Yeah.
all of that, even though we're in a pandemic and I
Yeah.
literally have not gone out yet, but
Yeah, I mean, like it's good because like you said, it's hard to get away from your hometown. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm,
Like you've known it all your life, and to have the strength to say like, yeah, I'm gonna leave and try something new. And you've had friends and family that stayed, like, grew up there, went to school there, went to college there, got married, have kids. You know what I mean? So it's like
mm-hmm.
it's kind of like a tradition thing, especially Hmong people. Like
Yep.
everybody tends to stay together. um it is hard to, like, even for me to go away because I have younger siblings. Like they're not growing up with me, you know what I mean? So we don't have that brother sister or brother brother relationship as much as I would love it. But I think it is, it's better, and I think more people should look into it because there's more opportunities out there than your hometown. I like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be stuck. I mean, although it's good. Like I have cousins that graduated from there or graduated high school, and then they work there and they're having families there, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? But then, like, for people who wants to do more or wants to see a different view of life and a different perspective, I think it's good to leave your hometown. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah, I agree with that. How, it works for some people to just stay and, whatever. But for me, it doesn't. I actually had this similar conversation with Jeff because, like, we work together.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, damn, you're always traveling when we're working together and you're always doing all this and that. And I was like, yeah, because I'm not going to stay in my hometown and drink every weekend. I mean, if you do
Right.
that, no hate, whatever, you do you. But I'm
Right.
like, I want to be doing something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and something like, hey, I went to Hawaii, I went to Texas and did all this, like
Hmm.
I want to have like forever memories and just do spontaneous things and not live my life like, damn, I wish I did that.
Yeah, like every weekend, like not hating, like I said.
Yeah, right.
Like every weekend, just go to the local Hmong bars, and you know what I mean. It's fun, you know what I mean. But we
It's
gotta.
not my style. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I kind of grew out of it too. Like I love seeing everybody when I go back. I love seeing everybody, and the vibe is always there. But you know what I mean. I just can't. Like I can't look. I look back and I was like, how did I do that every weekend? You know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Yeah.
so, now I look at it, it's like it's so tiring. Like I'd rather just stay home.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
do you like the change so far when you moved?
Yeah, I do a lot. I've definitely seen the most growth in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially because of the people that I surround myself with as well. I've definitely been able to make new friends and things like that. And I think the thing, like I said, being uncomfortable with change and growth is something that I have been able to teach myself and like learn a
Mm-hmm.
little bit more, because I was so closed off to who I hang out with, like what I do and things like that. And I think now, like, it's so interesting to change my environment to
Yeah,
better myself.
for sure. I mean, do you know who DC Reacts is?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I mean, our podcast, he told me a quote that says like, you have to let go of who you were to become who you want to be. And I was like, oh damn, I never even looked at it that way. You know what I mean? So I believe that, like, I believe that so much ever since he said that. Um and I believe that you've done that too. You know what I mean? You had to let go of who you were to who you are now, and which to see who you are now is crazy. I mean, of course, we're not even that close. Like, I've only seen, I don't even know if we really talked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to just to see like you, it just seems like you're just happier. You know what I mean? Like your posts, talking to you right now. This is probably the most we've ever talked.
Mhm.
um you just got like a glow on you, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I love when people say those kind of things, because I'm like, I can teach you, like, let me take you that
Yeah.
path too, like you said, let go of your past self. And it's like, it's not that I'm forgetting my roots and forgetting
Hmm.
where I am. I'm taking those things and making it something bigger and
Right.
doing what, like, other things to teach myself that where I started I can sprout that and just keep going and growing.
Hmm.
And something that I always mention to other people is that, like, this is a mental health journey as well or whatever, because, like, the potential that you have to live longer and do better things, do things that are going to make you happy is so much more important than,
Yeah,
just living day to day, like barely just like waking up and wanting to do things.
for sure. And honestly, I didn't even know you were that young. You're just 21, right?
I am.
Yeah, see, I always thought you were either like my age or Nuna's age. I didn't even know you were that young.
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty young. A lot of people always think I'm in like the mid 20s ever since I was literally like 18. So I don't take offense to it. I've learned to take it as a compliment.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Yeah, I mean, like, there's older content creators. They tell me like, "Oh wow, you're so young," and I was like, "Yeah, I guess I am." And then I look at you, it's like, "Damn, she's pretty young." It's just
yeah.
funny to see. It's cool to see. You know what I mean? Like to see your younger friend or like somebody younger than you, like having the same mindset and the same goals as you. You know what I mean? Like wanting to be in this space and wanting and doing what they want to do. I think it's really important, especially like for my podcast. It really focuses on the perspective of other people and their passions. So it really, I really want other people and the viewers and listeners to listen. And you just gotta start. Whatever you want to do, you just gotta start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's a new segment on my podcast. It's called Top Fives. So, top five, dead or alive, who would you like to have a sit down dinner conversation with?
If I were to choose one person in the world,
Five people.
five people,
Yep, dead or alive.
I don't know. I have so many favorites. um, if it, I don't even know. I feel like definitely I feel like a lot of people would choose like wise people,
Hmm.
and like people that they would like want to talk to or whatever. But I'm over here, I'm really young and I'm just like I'm thinking of all the famous people that I wish I was I was
Yeah,
ever
right.
with, whatever. Um and I'm horrible with names, so I don't know.
Oh no, you good. I'll try to help you.
Um I guess like somebody that is, I don't know. This is so hard for me. I think somebody that is like that I pretty much like, am inspired by a lot and kind of see a lot of like their passions and kind of I think like a lot of the JK
Oh yeah.
crew, yeah, like I definitely would want to, because even though they're like silly and whatever,
Hmm.
they just like their values are what has definitely changed what and how I see things,
For sure.
because of like, their perspective and how they're growing and stuff like that. So maybe some of them, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like terrible at this,
No,
but
you're good. Yeah, that was good. I mean, the JK crew, like it's cool to see like from where they've started from man, I don't even know, like over 10 years, maybe even 15 years ago, you know what I mean? To see where they're at now, making um making a living off of just content creating and just doing like stuff with their friends, you know what I mean?
mhm,
I think
yeah.
that's like the ultimate goal, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think especially too because they are Asian,
Yeah.
and that's special because it's just like you see all these,
Mhm.
non minority people that are making it big, but when you see people that look like you that can do it, it's
Mhm.
just really special.
Yeah. What's funny is like one of my goals one of my top goals actually is the Just Kidding News, how they always bring a guest on.
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be that guest, the first Hmong person to be on there. That's like one of my top goals ever since
Hey,
like they started that.
you can do it. I actually, networking is a huge thing.
Mhm.
I'm not like the closest to like my Instagram friends or whatever, but through a connection. I know one of my Instagram friends that's also in like the fitness, whatever. That's how we connected. She's best friends with one of the barbell girls.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so connections, networking,
Connections,
you
yeah.
can do it.
Have you ever thought about being sponsored by Barbell?
Yeah, I actually have. So the thing is, like, obviously, like, I like them for who they are. So
Hmm.
before like fitness and all that, I didn't even care about barbell at all. I was just like,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
But then now that I'm in the space, I kind of like looked into their stuff and I'm, like it would be a dream to definitely like I definitely put down like the brands that I'm like, I would feel like I've made it if I worked with these people because, I see them and
Yeah.
just like a rewarding feeling like, damn, I freaking did that when I wrote it down on paper. So
Hmm.
yeah, I thought about it. Like I said, I have that mutual friend or whatever that kind of is close to them. So I was kind of like, I'm just kind of like learning how it can work and things like
For
that.
sure.
But I think I definitely want to manifest that one of these days.
Yeah.
Hopefully, me speaking to existence is not like gonna ripple that effect or anything. But yeah.
I think putting it out there, whatever you want, you put it out there and then you do the work to do it. I think it does work a lot. I
Mm-hmm.
believe in that manifestation type thing,
Yes.
and whatever your goal is, you have to put it out there to the world, and you can't just put it out there just to put it out there, but you have to put it out there and put in the work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And right now, who would you say are your biggest influences? Whether it's in your field or just in life in general.
Um, I definitely think mm, I would say somebody that I definitely am inspired by a lot with, especially like my platform, is Naomi Kong. I don't know if you know her. Um,
Mm-mm.
but she's pretty big on Instagram and YouTube. She has like 80,000 followers or whatever, and like more on YouTube. But
Hmm.
she is Hmong, but I feel like not a lot of people know who she is, like the Hmong community, because she doesn't just like base in the Hmong community, which
Right.
I really like because no hate to the Hmong community, but I feel like if you really want to like do things, you need to step out of that.
Yes.
So she's somebody that I definitely look for inspiration and stuff. And she actually followed me not too long ago. So it was a really special feeling because she is somebody that I look at that's like, wow, I want to be where she's at. I want to follow her footsteps because she's doing it. And I know some people just do it just to do it, but I want this to be my life. Like, I want
Right.
this to be my job, my career, my
Hmm.
everything. So I definitely see that in her, and she definitely inspires me a lot. So when she followed me, I kind of got like a little fangirl moment.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm able to connect with her on those kind of levels now, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I felt the same way when it was a while back when I was still doing fashion. Like um one of like the top like men's hair grooming guy, like they're twins. One of them followed me and I was like, what the heck? Like
Yeah,
you have like a multi-million dollar business off of like hair products and stuff like that and you're following me? Like, holy shit.
right, right.
Yeah. And we're hitting the end here. Do you have anything else to plug or your future projects or your just anything that you want the people to look out for?
Um, I personally don't, but I mean, check out my podcast. I don't know if I can plug that, but
Oh yeah, for sure. Plug
if you guys
anything.
want to check that out, definitely check out like my social media or and all that stuff. It's all just Ms. Becky Xiong. You don't have to if you don't want to, but we got some good vibes over there, so might as well join the fam. And something I definitely want to end off with, like I said, you have the potential to do so much, and you know, do things that you're going to make yourself proud of in a year from now. Because trust me, a year ago, I did not think I would be where I am today. So don't ever fail yourself, or don't ever feel like you are failing yourself. Don't ever
Hmm.
feel like you can't do things, because put your mind to it and you can do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll be sure to link everything down in the description so you guys can go follow Becky. And make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this podcast. I'm also back on Spotify. I know I lost my subscription for a while because my I lost my debit card and I had to cancel it. Sorry, guys. But I'm back on there. The last, I think, 2 or 3 episodes I haven't posted. I just posted it. It should be up there on Spotify and Apple Podcast now. If not, I don't know. Let me know. I'll try to fix it. But this one should be up there too. Other than that, everybody have a blessed day. Thank you, Becky, for coming on today. I really appreciate it. Really good to actually talk to you and know you, because we've known each other for so long, but then yet I don't think we've ever had like an actual conversation without alcohol being involved, or like
Yeah.
just like party in the party scene. So I think it's really nice to see you, and for sure, this is not our last time collabing for sure. So
Hmm.
yeah, and yeah, everybody have a blessed day. Peace.